it's the next day. Threw my shirt on from yesterday. I'm not at work, I don't care. And so I did some work on the engine last night. I got to the point I was tired, and I'll show you what I did, and then I figured, well, you know what, it's time to go to sleep. So I'm going to show you what I did. Okay, let's see if I get my monitor in there. Zoom that right in there. Okay, these are the valves, and we use a feeler gauge to set the valves on the engine. Well, when you crank it over, and I'll show you the top there. If you look when I'm cranking this, let me back it up. That's what I do, back it up. Alright. So I'm turning this over the valves, and we're turning it counterclockwise because we're on the other side of the crankshaft. You can see, whoa. You can see where the valves open up. See the valve open up there? It's opening up. You can see it's pushing up the rod. And then it's going back down again. And then the intake is opening up. So it's on the intake stroke. So there's intake. Now we're coming up on the power. And then when we come back down, we should be coming back up for the exhaust. And it starts all over again. 4 cycles. Intake, compression, power, exhaust. Okay, so we're on the intake. We're coming down. Now we're coming up on the compression where this goes closed. It comes up to the very top dead center. And this is when your spark plug fires and pushes us down. So when we set the valves, we need to be, and I have my little micrometer here, 1/4 inch. So right here in the very end of it is a little tab. It slides, that's a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to put it on top of the piston, and I'm going to turn it down until it comes down to 1/4 inch below the top dead center. Okay. Well, that's where I should be setting my valves. Okay. So when you lap the valves, of course you're cutting off them, so they get tight. They go farther down on top of the tappets. You gotta remember your camshafts here and those little tappets I put in. That's the top of the tappet. So this is where you put your feeler gauge in, and you check it and you adjust it accordingly. Well, I did that yesterday, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, it's hitting this, but it's not seating on the valve. Back it up. It's not seating on top of the valve. There we go. So it's going up. See that going up, coming down, and in here is where it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to put my feeler gauge. Well, it's not seating. I can see light through here. It's like, okay. Well, I come over to the exhaust and I go, what is the exhaust at? Well, the exhaust is, it's supposed to be somewhere between, I think, I have another piece of paper here. Somewhere. Here it is. The exhaust, which is here, is supposed to be between 9 and 11. Well, here, if I put a feeler gauge here, I have 13. If you can see that. I have 13 and 14, which is 27. Well, here, it's 27, and it's supposed to be 9 or 11. Wow, that's way off. And I'm thinking to myself, huh. So I'm scratching my head. I said, geez, am I going to have to buy another valve? And I went and looked online to see if I needed to order another valve. And I was like, well, why is this not working? I can't figure this thing out. So You want to see the trick? Here we go. This is the intake valve. I'm taking that intake valve out, okay? That's the intake valve. Okay, I'm going to take the exhaust valve out. Here. And you ready for the fix? Here we go. Let's put them in the right hole. I had the intake and the exhaust and the exhaust and the intake. Now everything comes out right. At that point in time I said, you know, Rick, call it a night. Go have a beer or something. So that's what happened yesterday. I tell you, sometimes it's, you know, the brain is out to lunch. So it's really good if you put the correct valves in the correct holes. It works. So today we're going to set the clearances, and these are really tight. They come right down, and I don't know even I I just kind of stopped at that time and said, okay, I'm out of here. I don't think let's see, the intake's supposed to be 5 to 7, so let's take a number 5. That's 0 on here. Okay, put in the camera there. I got to kind of angle it a little bit. I know this camera can pick it up. There we go. It's 0.005. So the intake is supposed to be between 5 and 7. Well, this is the intake. And I can't even fit it in there. I have to lift up the valve and slide it in there. Yeah, well, that's a little bit. But once I put that in there, you can't see this, but I can actually see light through the valve. And that's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to, you know, they're supposed to be closed. So there's like nothing there. I can still see light here. Let me turn this thing. I can still see light up there. So that's not seating right. And the exhaust is supposed to be 9 to 11. Well, this is a 5, and I'm lifting it up. I can see light there. So we have to take these and we have to file the end. We have to file this flat, take some steel off this to make a gap. And the gap is to make sure this thing is completely closed tightly, because there's a spring on here, and you'll see later on. Spring holds this tension, holds it down into the seat. So we have to make sure there's enough clearance there, not too much, but enough clearance that when the cam is on the back side, this is closed completely until it's ready to start doing the intake cycle, and that's lifting it up to let the gas and air into the combustion chamber. So we're going to do some filing on here. Well, I've seen people use a sander, a belt sander, on a fixed belt sander, and they could use a miner and slide it in and get a nice. You have to make sure this is nice and level. Well, I was trying to come up with a device, since I've got a grinder, but the grinder's up at the shop, and I'd end up having to haul all this thing up there. I don't have one. So I figured I'd need a square. So I need to find something square. And if I find something square, I can use this to grind this flat. So I got this block of wood. The block of wood is square. It's square there. And this block of wood is square there. So what I'm going to do is put this block of wood hold the valve on the block of wood, and then I've got a file here. Put this file on a towel. I'll get this all set up for you. And what I'm going to be doing is dragging this, holding this on the block of wood. I'll be dragging this, I'll get a little closer. I'll be dragging this across the file, taking steel off it so that I can get my proper feeler gauge setting. So let me get that set up over here on the table, on the towel and everything, and then I'm going to turn this back on and we'll get at it setting up this setting the feeler gauge. All right, the the feeler gauge setting for the gap on the end of the valve. So all right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So I got the file here and the board. I sprayed some WD-40 on that, and I'm going to spray some WD-40 on the bottom here that slides here to keep this kind of slick. Ain't gonna hurt your wood. Does probably make the wood last a little bit longer. And we'll spray some on the end of the thing, and we're gonna scrape some of this off now. See how this is gonna work. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. So you and I are gonna find out together. Guess what? It's not working very well. We'll try. We'll try. Don't want to. Let's keep this stuff sliding. Let's shorten it up and hold it back, please. There we go. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna try something here else. Okay, we're back. We're back. So, we're going to try this here. There we go. That's working great. That's working great. Okay. Towel. Alright. Yeah, we got some of it off. Yep. Just come on. Okay, if I get this thing set up correctly, I should be able to swing it around. Yeah. Alright. Slide this down here. And we will check the clearance. This is a 5. And it's still lifting it. That takes more off. Still lifting it. Okay, back over here. Spray some more on there. Spray some on there. Alright, gotta take some more off. I'm kind of turning the valve as I, in one stroke, file this way, and then I turn it. I turn it a little bit. That way I'm not out trying to drag it in one spot. There we go. It's coming off. And try it again. Back over. Getting there. Still lifting. Alright. Back here. Yeah, I know. My wife says, you make everybody dizzy moving that camera around. I said, heck, I make myself dizzy just watching it. Bad case of vertigo, don't watch any of my videos. steel in there, you can see. Alright. Get in there. Alright, we're going to do this one more time and then I'll probably spare you the suspense. You get the general idea. So we're just going to get everything nice and flat here. Alright, one more time and then see how close we are. Slide in there. Yeah, getting there. Yeah, we're getting there. So, we're getting there. I'm going to keep doing this and spare you the agony of watching me do this. So I get it all done, I'll let you know, and I'll be back. Alright. Okay, well, I'm back. Got this finally adjusted, and you can see here, tap it here. Let me get in a little closer. You can really, this thing really zooms in well. Okay. Back it up just a tad. There's the, this is the intake, and I have the, if you see it, 5 thousandths right here. This one is the 5, and it fits in there. I'm holding the valve down with my finger, and it's nice, nice drag, nice. A little bit of a loose 5, but I've got 5 to 7. I've put a 6 in there. It's a little bit of a tight 6, so maybe 5.5. Okay. Now we're on the exhaust. The exhaust is supposed to be 9 to 11. And there's the exhaust valve. And I've got a 9 on there. And the 9. Just, yeah, she changed on me a little bit here. I might have to take a little bit more off of that. Well, I was doing good before. Huh. Yeah, she's a little tight 9. I might have to take a little bit more off that. I set my little Dremel up here, and so I'm going to take a little bit more off this. So you just hang tight there. Tried using the file. Using that file, and this stuff is, you know, this is hard to steal. It wasn't cutting it. So I got my little Dremel out and tried to get the best I could angle on it. Let's try that. Wow, still a little tight yet. I thought I had that set before. Yeah, that's set there. Something happened here. Okay, I need to take some more off. Alright, we're going to do that. We're here in live TV. got it. So I'll put the springs together and put the cover on here, and I'll be done for then, and time for some breakfast. Alright, catch you YouTubers a little bit later today on some of the other build process. Yeah, I gotta take a little bit more off, but I set this Dremel up here. I wanted to show this to you. Got a little tip on there. Around here. There we go. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm putting this right on that stone as flat as I can. Trying to keep that flat, and I'm going to grind some more off. Just a little tight, I check it. But you got to put it in there and you turn the valve around. You put it in there and then you turn the valve around a little bit and check the feeler gauges. And I might on this one side have a little higher spot than others. So, alright, here goes the Dremel. And going down, coming up, turning it, turning it, turning it, turning it. Alright, let me try that now. Line it in. Hopefully I get a little better 9. You know, I'm still within tolerances, you know, the 9 to 11. Wow. Turn that a little bit. Still pretty tight. I need to take some more off. Wow. Interesting. I had that before. Alright. More! Give me more! Give me more! We'll get it. We will get it. And we got it. Okay, we got it. Good deal. Okay, I wanted to show you something here. See there's a hole in here? That's a return oil hole. Goes down into the sump. Part that we put it. It's like the oil pan. Well, we're going to be putting on these little keepers, and those go on the valve end here. And if you accidentally drop one of those things and fumbling around and it falls in here down into this hole into the pan, you have to take this all off again and retrieve this. So for sake of doing it, I put a piece of duct tape across that hole, and I'll lay it down there. Don't worry, we won't forget to take it out, and we cover that hole. So be careful, cover the hole before you put all this stuff back in there. You drop one of those keepers down there, you're going to wish you spent a few seconds putting a piece of tape on it. That's all. Alright, it's lunchtime. We've got the put some more green paint on it that I scraped off and rubbed off. Got the rocker box cover on. Springs are up in there, all set up. Put some paint on it. So when I get back from lunch, I'm going to let this sit for about an hour, hour and a half. And then time to start putting the other stuff on over here. Things that need to be put on. This is the part where the governor deal is. This is the throttle cable. Then we got the carburetor here. Carburetor needs to be put on. And we got these miscellaneous bolts. I gotta remember where they go. And I don't want to have any extra ones. None whatsoever. So that's what I'll be doing here in about an hour or so, and I'll kind of fill you in on as I go along. Alright, see ya. Alright, we're getting all ready for the engine. Gloves on, and now the engine's going to go in. Alright. Engine's going in. Alright, it's in. Voila. Woohoo! Do the happy dance. Alright. Well, the engine's in. So from here, we put it all together. Not bad looking. Green and red and such. Alright, catch you later. Record. There we go. Oil's in. Done. Here we go. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Okay. Alright. Let's try. Alright, let's pause this for a second. Alright, let's try this again. I gotta see it. Man, focus. Yep, there we go. Alright. Well, hello. It's the next day. Got the got the tractor going. Yesterday when I was doing my happy dance, the little neighbor gal next door, the guy I work with, his daughter JoJo, she is over there laughing at me because I was dancing because my tractor got started. Hey, you know, it's a happy moment after you put all that time into it that it works. And as much as I like the thumbs up that everybody does on YouTube, it's a good feeling that your sense of accomplishment after you did this. And I called DJ and talked to him on the phone, had him listen to the motor run. So he was happy too that we got it going. So chopping off my head here too much. Hang on. Alright, look at this monitor. So today, I found that the one rocker box cover, after I shut it off yesterday, was leaking, and I had to go to a party last night. So I had to get together, and I got home about midnight last night, and I couldn't help myself. I opened the garage door and turned the light on, and put a flashlight, and I took that rocker box cover off and sealed it. What I did is I cleaned the surface on the engine, but the rocker box cover, it's got the little vent tube and stuff in it. I had some gasket material on there that I didn't take off. It'll be on my long list of things that I should have done different when I do it. And I'll go through them. I made a lot of mistakes here. I laid in my mistakes. Not costly mistakes, but timely mistakes. And it's been a while since I've had I've tore into one of these. When I was younger, worked on bikes, and my dad would find mowers and stuff like that, and I'd work on those, and then my brothers would always be working on cars, so I'd always be like right over their shoulder, in their way. My nickname was the punk kid, Punk. So Punk was always in the way and asking questions, but you know what? Credit to my brothers and my sister that helped me learn a lot of things along the road. And that's one thing about family you always have to have. So we're going to get more into this. I put the pulley on it yesterday, and I didn't put the belts on. I just wanted to see if I get the engine. I don't know if this thing even moves forward or backwards. I don't know if the mower works. So today I'm going to pull that pulley back down, because I should have put the belt on before I put the pulley on, but I just wanted to get the pulley on the bottom of it for balance, just to run it yesterday. So today I'm going to do that. The battery, I couldn't get the battery to connections. The connections were rusty yesterday, so I had to start it with the battery by hooking the ground to the block of the lawnmower, and then using the hot on the starter to fire it up. So that's what I did yesterday. I kind of hot wired it. So today I'm going to put the battery in, which I think I brought some life out of this battery. It was like, had half a volt in it, and I slowly charged it, and I put some water in it, but I used distilled water. I have some distilled water. Put some distilled water, did a really slow charge on it, and then left it alone for a while, and then came back and did a heavy charge on it. I find that sometimes that works for me. Everybody has their own. You go on YouTube, there's tons of people out there that have different ways of making batteries work. They're going to work or they're not. You can try the tricks. Some of them work. That's fine. So this battery here, I grabbed my load check on it. It seemed like it was okay, but man, that thing had like a half a volt in it when I first got it. So we'll have to see if that comes around. So I'm going to get back at this thing. A little chilly this morning. Sunday morning. It's 9 o'clock again. Same time it was yesterday. Good thing I don't have anything to do on my day off. But I enjoy this. I do. I enjoy it better if the grandkids are here. So I'm going to get back at it, and I'll bring you along the journey. Alright, bye. Okay, we're back. You can see me? Let's see. Yeah. So we're going to start the tractor up here again. I've got the pulley on it, the belts, got everything up underneath. I had to take off to get out of the way so that I could get the pulley off to pull the engine. So everything else I put underneath there. All the belts are back on. Note to whoever, if you're ever putting that upper belt on that drives the differential, the rear end, just reach up there and grab the brake clutch deal on this thing here. Pull it down and you can get the belt on there really easy. And then the bottom belt for the mower, that usually just pops right on. So I'll take you for a little walk around. I've got everything back on it before we fire this up. So here's the engine. Got the cover and everything on, dipstick, all on there. And I
I bent this out to get the muffler on, the new muffler. It was funny, yesterday I had everything going and I started and I heard pop, pop, pop. I'm like, whoop, I guess I forgot to put the muffler on. So it popped a few times when I went to start it, just to see if the starter would turn over. So I put the old rusty thing on there, and that's what we ran it with yesterday. So I guess we're going to fire it back up again. I'm not really sure about some of these have underneath here, because this charging system is actually charging, I put a rag around the positive lead. I didn't want to short it out. But I don't know if this thing isn't working because I have a bad connection or because it's got a neutral safety switch somewhere that is keeping the power from going to the motor to start. So I'm going to end up hot wiring this again, or just starting with the ground on it and jumping across the starter to get it going. So we'll worry about that stuff later. I just want to see if the mower works and if this tractor moves forward or backwards. I don't know. So you and I will find out at the same time whether this thing will move or not. Let's see. Here we go. Alright, so here we go. Go positive. Make sure it's not touching anything. Okay. This thing's starting up. I've had the gas on for, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. Should still be gassing from yesterday. Yep. Can double check myself here. Alright, so let's see if we get this thing going. All the way up is choke. And let's see what happens now. Hey! Okay, that was fun. Okay, I get this neutral. Come on. Is that neutral? Hey, that didn't happen yesterday. There we go. Hey, we know the transmission works. Hey. Well, that's all that happens today then. On live. Okay, let's try that again. That's funny. Come on, baby. You were going once. Oh, come on. Really? You gonna do this to me? Oh, yeah.
happy. Happy. Let's get this out here a little bit more. Let's put it right out here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the tractor here. Go outside a little bit. It seems like I'm in the shade here. There we go. Ah, you can see me. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the tractor. Got everything's working well with it. I notice when I'm running on it. God. I'm trying to get a picture of the tractor and me. Okay. Here. Notice when I'm running at the idler pulley on the transmission, it's making a bunch of racket, so I'm going to have to replace that idler pulley. Goes forward, backwards. It's off a little bit. Where it shows 1, I was kind of wondering. When I put it first, I didn't get anything at all. So then I went over and I got a gear. So it's just off like a gear. So this thing might have got a bent at one time. There's a lot of stop on it too. So the mower works. Sounds good. It's just that that idler has probably got a bad bearing and needs to be replaced. I took it for a ride, and you know, I ran up the power, back down again, you know, braked the engine in for a little bit. I'm pretty much running in a little bit over idle, just braking it in. I'm probably going to run this probably for about 2 hours, and then I'm going to change the oil and put some better grade oil in it. I just got some Walmart stuff just to throw in it. And Walmart stuff's good oil. I use it in my car and stuff. I like to put something a little bit better, and these, since there's, you know, the only thing that cools these is the air around them. So that's why I put the shroud and everything on it. So I'm pleased. It goes forward and backwards, and the mower works, and yeah, that's a good deal. So, and I noticed when I was trying to start it before it wouldn't start. Well, here it's got a switch up here. It says off on, and so they must have bypassed some of the safety switches on here. So I think if I get a battery on here, that I should be able to start it up with the key in it. So other than that, hey, it's a good day. Grandkids are coming today, and I got to get some stuff ready for them. So, all right, I'll catch you guys later, and maybe I can fill you in later on if I do something different with this. Still have to do other things to it, but overall I think this is a really good, turned out to be a good project for DJ and myself, and maybe we'll make a few bucks on it next year and I sell it. Alright, this is Selling Guy 60. Glad to know that you came along with me on this little trip. Still got some stuff to do on it yet, but it's good. Life is good. Alright, see ya.